You're listening to CFRN, the Christian Financial Radio Network.
Good afternoon, traders, and welcome back to the CFRN E-mini Futures Cast. This is the daily broadcast of Indeterminate Length, where we discuss all things E-mini, along with some really big ideas on the finer points of trading gold, bonds, crude, sugar, the euro. Joining us today, Mr. Michael Borg. From our trading desk in Chicago, Mr. Burton Schlichter. Now, to get things started, let's go to our host and founder in Studio A, overlooking South Mountain, America's largest city park. Here's Dwayne.
Good afternoon. Welcome back. Today's Thursday. And I still have technical problems. I'm sorry. If you're on YouTube, your best bet, go to mytradingiq.com, scroll down to where it says Noon Broadcast, click the link, fill out the short 30-second registration form. It'll just log you right into our platform. Okay? Do you do that for me? Appreciate it. All right. Thanks for joining us, whoever you are, wherever you are. We're just glad to have you right here, right now. We do 2 live broadcasts every trading day. The first live broadcast is private, members only, and those taking the 1-week free trial. If you have not taken the 1-week free trial, go to mytradingiq.com, and at the very top of the page, you'll see the link, 5-day free trial, no credit card required. Click the purple button. Fill out that registration form, hit submit. We'll get you indicators indicating today. Now your trial will start tomorrow, which is Friday. But I said it was a 5-day trial, didn't I? So you're going to get tomorrow, Saturday, Sunday, and all of next week. Whoa. Let's see, that's I just turned a 5-day trial into an 8-day trial. That's like magic. Okay, and we haven't dropped a single frame. I shouldn't have said that, should I? Okay. All right, this is our daily schedule. We start out with our devotional, word of prayer, some news, recap of the alerts. Then about 50 minutes into the broadcast, Michael joins us for a recap of what happened this morning in the live training room. Then we do some live trading on the TradingView platform for 30 minutes. And then I wrap things up with our good word for the day. And I'm going to do this. And I'm just going to dive right into it. Oh, by the way, I think we canceled the members only workshop tonight because of Halloween and all that stuff. We don't do that here. We turn off our lights and go upstairs. And when we had kids, our kids enjoyed sitting out front giving away candy more than they enjoyed going door to door getting candy. That made us feel good, as if we might have done something right. Okay, we finished our devotional topic yesterday and start a new one today, investing in eternal treasure. Our scripture today is Matthew 6 verses 19 through 21. I'm going to share it with you from the Message translation. Don't hoard treasure down here where it gets eaten by moths and corroded by rust, or worse, stolen by burglars. Stockpile treasure in heaven, where it's safe from moth and rust and burglars. It's obvious, isn't it? The place where your treasure is the place you will most want to be and end up being. So, day one, in the verse we just read, Jesus calls us to shift our focus from material wealth on earth to eternal treasures in heaven. Earthly possessions are temporary and subject to decay, loss, and theft. In contrast, the treasures we store up in heaven are secure and everlasting. Now, Jesus isn't discouraging financial success here on earth, but he's teaching us to invest our resources in things that have eternal significance. Acts of generosity, love, and obedience to God's will. What if you used some of the money you got gathering dust somewhere, wherever you hide it, and built a shelter for the homeless? I'm not going to use the whole orphanage example because that would be just self-serving, it would sound like. So, but just think of what you could do with money that you're never going to spend that could have everlasting. I mean, let's face it. When the game for you and I is over, the king and the pawn both go back in the same box. But if you were to build that shelter for the homeless or some other thing, okay, whatever God puts on your heart, that's going to outlive you here on earth. And in doing so, you're storing up treasure in heaven. Invest your resources in things that have eternal significance. Acts of generosity, love, and obedience to God's will. Ask yourself, how are you using your resources, your time, your talent, and your treasure to store up treasure in heaven? Consider what you value most and how they reflect your heart's priorities. Today, pray for wisdom on giving generously and investing in eternal things, such as supporting those in need or contributing to God's work. Join me in a word of prayer. Heavenly Father, thank you for teaching us to store up treasures in heaven, where neither moth nor rust destroys. Help us to set our hearts on eternal things, knowing that where our treasure is, there our hearts will be also. May we live in a way that honors you, valuing the things that matter most. We continue to pray for those suffering in the aftermath of the hurricanes. We continue to pray for your intervention in the Middle East. Bring an end to this conflict. And God, as this election approaches, we pray for honesty and integrity in every aspect. Grant wisdom to voters, integrity to leaders, and a fair process that reflects your will. May the outcome of this election bring unity and peace to our nation, one nation under God, and may the results honor you. It's in Jesus' name we believe and pray. And everybody said, amen. Now, you know I'm about to give you the numbers from around the world, but I'm just going to say, oh, hey, Chris, I'm glad you showed up. A lot of those windows of opportunity yesterday that we drew in the mentoring session, they rocked by the grace of God. So anyway, we'll be going over those later as I bring up the charts, but we have some other stuff to cover first. There's one thing that I just want to share with you. I didn't see it with my own eyes. I can't swear that it really happened, but it's being reported in so many places that, well, it concerns me. Supposedly, an ABC affiliate in Pennsylvania last night played a clip that said the results are in. Kamala Harris has won Pennsylvania by 25% with 100% of the votes in. Now, I pray that's a conspiracy theory. Somebody just made that up and thought they were clever. And these things can go viral pretty quick. So as I go around the internet trying to research it and see if it really did happen, well, I'll be honest, I'm still not sure. So when we were praying, that's why I pray for integrity in this election. You know, God's will is going to be done one way or the other. And I know for a lot of this audience, you lean one way, and if the election goes the other way, you have to accept that's God's will. And He's got bigger plans, and you know, it's like trading. Trade what's in front of you. We will deal with the hand that's dealt us. We'll play the hand that's dealt us. All right. Numbers from around the world, starting here in the U.S. with the cash markets, or the indices as they're called. The Dow's down 281 points. NASDAQ's down 432. That's almost 2.5%. S&P 500 is down 82, and it's at a critical point. I can't wait to show you this on the chart. And the Russell 2000 is down 20 points, just shy of 1%. And the S&P, I gave you it's down 82 points. That's 1.5%. And the commodity basket, what do we got? Crude oil up 74 cents, trading 68.35 last. That's a gain of over 1%, or $740 per contract traded. Now this breaks my heart. Gold's down 51 bucks. I mean, it's been on a tear. We know that markets don't go in no market goes in a straight line. There's a leg and a retracement, a leg and a retracement. But this is a big retracement. Gold down almost 2%, trading 27.49.70 last, which leads us to silver. You're killing me, silver. Down to $1.27. That's almost 7,500. No, it's well over $5,000 per contract traded. Down $1.26, which is 3.75%, trading 32.81 last. Okay, here's what it is. The Nikkei, in the Asian markets. Nikkei finished the session down 196 points. Shanghai rose 13. Hang Seng fell 63. And in the European markets at the close, FTSE down 66. DAX down 229, almost 1.25%. The CAC down 99, almost 1.5%. So we had a mixed day in Asia. It was a red day for the UK. And it's definitely a red Radio Thursday here in the US of A. Little headline. I'm not going to read this whole article, but gold consolidates after climbing to record peak, eyes fourth straight monthly rise. When in doubt, zoom out. You always got to keep an eye on the big picture. Okay? And wait till I show you the big picture on the S&P when we go there. We got to go do the news first. The U.S. Supreme Court, I don't think they've ever moved this fast before. I mean, they were literally tripping over the ropes to do this. Yesterday, the U.S. Supreme Court temporarily allowed a voter removal program to continue in Virginia after a federal judge blocked the initiative last week. The emergency stay comes less than a week before the general election, in which over 56 million people across the U.S. have already cast votes. Governor Glenn Youngkin signed an order in August to remove registered voters whose driver's license applications suggested they might be non-citizens, canceling roughly 1,600 voter registrations. Now that makes sense, right? You're not a citizen, you don't get to vote. So Governor Youngkin cleaned up the voter rolls. Makes perfect sense. But then a federal judge last week ruled the program violated federal laws prohibiting states from systematically removing ineligible voters within 90 days of an election. The case is expected to resume after the election. The stay comes as the candidates lay out final arguments ahead of Election Day. National polls indicate a virtual tie between former President Donald Trump and Vice President Kamala Harris, with a slight lead for Trump in most of the 7 battleground states. I can't even imagine. Anyway, now, this isn't a news article, but I'm going to tell you, you've probably seen it. There is a Kamala Harris ad running that encourages wives to lie to their husband about who they voted for. It was paid for and produced by Julia Roberts. We used to call her Pretty Woman. Now we call her Pretty Shady Woman. I mean, this is a well-produced, highly polished. She paid for this out of her own pocket. You got to see it to believe it. Encouraging spouses to lie to one another about who they vote for. It's clever how they did it, and man, but I'll get over it. I bounce back pretty quick. Oh, and Chris says, and she actually is not a Roberts, as per her 23andMe DNA history. Oh well. All right, back to the news. The Dodgers, the LA Dodgers, won the 2024 World Series last night, beating the New York Yankees 7-6 in Game 5. The victory marks the Dodgers' 8th championship title and the team's first full season championship win since 1988. The Dodgers secured the title during a shortened season in 2020. In Spain, flash flooding has killed at least 95 people since Tuesday, with the death toll expected to rise. The floods, the results of months' worth of rainfall in the span of a few hours, are Spain's worst in at least 3 decades. You got 155,000 customers without electricity. The damage is so extensive, with rainfall turning village streets into nearly 10-foot-high rivers at some points, transforming trash, cars, and debris into projectiles. Countless residents are still missing, with search and rescue efforts ongoing. Father, we pray for the people of Spain right here, right now. Be their protector, please. In Jesus' name. All right, market news. What do we got? The Nasdaq led a tumble in U.S. stocks on Thursday after Meta and Microsoft earnings sparked worries about prospects for big techs amid rising artificial intelligence costs. Optimism for a big tech boost to stocks took a knock as investors digested Meta's and Microsoft's quarterly reports. While the results beat Wall Street estimates, both companies flagged that they will step up already high spending on AI infrastructure. Concerns that would put pressure on profitability helped send shares in both Meta and Microsoft lower. And we'll look at where they're trading in a minute. Okay, the latest reading of the Fed's preferred inflation gauge showed that prices increased largely in line with Wall Street expectations in September. The core personal consumption expenditures, or PCE index, which strips out the cost of food and energy because we don't use those, is closely watched by the Federal Reserve, rose 0.3% from the prior month during September, in line with Wall Street's expectations for 0.3%, but above the 0.1% reading seen in August. A large feud is developing between two giants of the tech world. Microsoft accused Google of running shadow campaigns to discredit Microsoft's cloud computing business. The claim was made in a Monday blog post from Microsoft Deputy General Counsel, who said Google quietly orchestrated and funded these shadow campaigns to tarnish how global competition, authorities, policymakers, and the public view Microsoft's methods. Google has gone to great lengths to obfuscate its involvement, funding, and control of a new coalition of European cloud providers formed to attack how Microsoft monetizes and tries to protect its cloud infrastructure. The group, called the Open Cloud Coalition, publicly launched on Tuesday. Now, big tech, we already talked about Microsoft and Meta and the worries that investors have there. Amazon, which is set to report results today, is likely to echo these forecasts. The extensive capital spending could threaten fat margins at these companies, and pressure on profitability is likely to spook investors. Oh, I forgot to say boo. Boo. Ford Motors will halt production of its F-150 Lightning electric vehicle pickup trucks for 6 weeks from November 18th to January 6th. Ford's U.S. plants are closed for a holiday week in December. We continue to adjust production for an optimal mix of sales growth and profitability, according to a Ford spokesperson. Ford has been scaling back its EV plans, saying in August it was killing a planned 3-row electric SUV and pushing back a new electric version of its best-selling F-150 pickup. Why are they doing this? Because nobody wants them or believes in them. Yeah, I know some people do. Some people got so much money they don't care. Stocks got hammered after disappointing outlooks from giants Microsoft Corp and Meta. We already covered that. No need to redo it. Crude. Here we go. Oil rose for a second day after U.S. crude inventory shrank and fighting continued in the Middle East. And across the pond, the United Kingdom's Treasury Chief conceded Thursday that wages may rise by less than previously thought as a direct result of her budget decision to increase a tax that businesses pay for their employees. On Wednesday, Rachel Reeves raised taxes by around 40 billion pounds, which is 52 billion US dollars, to plug a hole she claims to have identified in the public finances and fund cash-starved public services in a budget that could set the political tone for years to come. The biggest single measure, worth some 25 billion pounds in 5 years, was an increase in the national insurance contributions employers pay in addition to the salaries of their workers. The levy, which was originally designed to pay for benefits and help fund the state-owned National Health Service, but which is really absorbed into the overall tax take, will also be paid from a lower salary level. Reeves admitted that the change may prompt employers to pass on the additional financial burden by weighing down on wages. Well, you know what? She's a government official. She made a mistake, but at least she's owning it. She's not hiding from it, you know. She's not saying, well, what I really meant to say. She just owned it, and she seems to have remorse. So I respect that. Logic 247. That's our 24/7 around the clock E-mini alert service. And as you can see, we are in week 326 of Logic 247. And over the last 326 weeks, we've issued over 18,200 individual handcrafted alerts. And what we've averaged on a weekly basis is 20% or less of the alerts being stopped out based on market structure and a very simple process that we teach all of our passport holders in their one-on-one mentoring sessions. Now, Valerie did this recap this morning at 6:30 a.m. Eastern. At the time she did the recap, I had issued 54 alerts since the markets opened this past Sunday night at 6 p.m. Eastern. 3 never triggered. Still waiting on the outcome of 7. That gave us 44 actionable alerts, of which 8 or 18% would have been stopped out, again based on market structure and that very simple process we teach all of our passport holders. Now, the purpose of the logic alerts is not so you can just trade them and not have to learn how to trade. I know some people do that. It's a mistake. They're going to regret it. Use them as they're intended, to learn where to expect support, to learn where to expect resistance, and to find the windows of opportunity. That's the purpose. The logic alerts come out around the clock, 24/7. It could be 2 a.m. or 2 p.m. Futures trade around the clock, and we have traders around the globe. Their day session is our night session, and vice versa. Unlike our original alert service, the concierge trade alerts, they don't come out around the clock. They're published every evening shortly after the Globex open. Last night, I got them out. Oh, there we go. Scared me for a minute. I got them out right when the market opened. I was geared up and ready to go. Boom. So, here's my point. At 6 p.m. Eastern last night, that's the beginning of the Thursday session for futures traders, All of our members and trial members had every one of these targets last night at 6 p.m. Eastern. Now, if you're a member or trial member, be sure to read this up here. It's very important. If there's anything you don't understand, just ask me in Telegram. I'll be happy to answer it for you. Okay? All right. Let's get to the chart. There it is, as they say. What's this? Price was just falling. Oh man. And then it hit the 24% Fib retracement. And what did it do? It bounced. It's not a big bounce. In fact, in the live training room, I talked with Michael and everyone in the room about the fact that this thing was falling so fast and so hard that maybe we wouldn't get a bounce. But on a daily chart, when you hit a Fib retracement, as we did here, you'll almost always get a bounce. Let me explain why. Institutional traders have incredibly large accounts. Therefore, they trade in large size. In fact, they're the ones who actually move price. You and I, we're just liquidity. But that's okay. We can still make a living. What I encourage you to do, okay, is before you start trading, whatever it is you're going to trade, look at the daily chart for 2 minutes. Even though you're not going to trade the daily chart, see what the deep pockets are doing. You see, the institutional traders look at daily, weekly, and monthly charts, the way you and I look at 30-minute charts, 5-minute charts, tick charts, and range charts. Has everything to do with account size. So, this morning is a great example. You could get a free look over the shoulder of all those deep pockets that move price. And what would you have wanted to do? Probably not buy. Now, price doesn't travel in a straight line. It kind of looks like it here on the daily chart, but it's leg, retrace, leg, retrace, leg, retrace. But obviously, we got a big down day, and we knew exactly where to expect support or potential support and a bounce. Okay, not much of a bounce, but it could move up. Now, if it takes out the 24% Fib retracement, we got this spot right here, the lowest Fib extension, the 0 line. And then the next place for potential support would be there, and then bang, you're at the 38. And that's 56.40. 50, looks like 56.38. Okay. Now, prices fall faster than they rise. We finally broke through the daily BBC. Now, the green line is the BBC. It stands for Bull Bear Cross. When price crosses above the green line, we're bullish and expect higher prices. When price crosses below the green line, we're bearish and expect lower prices. Higher prices, lower prices, higher prices. And if we close below the BBC today, then definitely we expect lower prices. The markets are fractal in nature. So you can apply the BBC to a daily chart, a weekly chart, a monthly chart, a 30-minute chart, a 5-minute chart, a tick chart, or a range chart. And it's going to give you the same information. If price gets above the green line, expect higher prices relative to the time frame you're looking at. If price gets below the green line, expect lower prices relative to whatever time frame you're looking at. Now, this doesn't just work with the S&P 500 E-mini futures. It works with any market, any futures market, any individual stock, crypto, Forex, ETFs. Guys are even using a lot of our stuff now to trade options. There it is. What more can I say? We'll see how we close today. See, it wants to bounce. It really does. See, and maybe I should clarify. I said that all the institutional traders look at daily, weekly, and monthly charts because of their account size. Okay. Now, do you think they have fibs on their charts? You better believe they do. So, is this a self-fulfilling prophecy, or are fibs a real thing? Well, number one, fibs are a very real thing. It's in nature and our DNA. It's in a flower, in a pretty woman's face. I could go on. In fact, you should sometime Google fib faces. It's fascinating. I'm not going to go into it today, but it's fascinating study. Remember, jot it down. Fib faces. Google it later. Read the articles. Okay. All right. So, I said it's a real thing, but I also believe it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. If enough people believe price is going to bounce at this area, guess what? Price is going to bounce at that area. All right. All alerts, logic, and concierge are created on the 30-minute chart. Okay, let's see if we can get this thing. All right. Thursday, Wednesday, Tuesday. Okay. Tuesday on the broadcast, we drew a window of opportunity, and it filled, and it filled, and it filled 3 times. When a window of opportunity fills, chances are it will fill again. Not always, but sometimes. Now, this window hasn't filled. This window, which was drawn on Tuesday, live on the broadcast, filled yesterday afternoon, right here. Now, I had a mentoring session yesterday with Chris, and I can't remember which of these windows I drew during the broadcast and which ones I drew during the mentoring session, but I got no, it serves nothing for me to lie to you. But here's the deal. We drew this window, whether it was on the show or during the mentoring session, and price came down once, filled it, backed up, filled it again. And then we drew this window, came right down to the bottom of the window, and then went all the way back to the top of the window, did it a second time, came back to the top of the window, did it a third time. Now, as far as these CTA targets that were published last night at the open, we never had any reason to be concerned with the long target because price never got above the BBC. In fact, we gapped lower. This was the open, and that's when everybody had the targets. This candle opened at 58.40. So if you jumped in, you could still get your goal for the day because the thing just kept falling until it got to this little spot right here. Oh, where'd it go? Right there. Okay. Now, you see that low right there? That's the filling of that window, drawn way back on October 24. So now, when price trades through a CTA target, like it did here on the short target. Price will often, when it finds some support, it will retrace, and that target becomes resistance. So down we go. Now, when we hit a weekly trading zone, these zones were published Tuesday morning at 6:15 a.m. Eastern. Once they're published, they're carved in stone for the entire week. They don't change in any way whatsoever. 70% of the time when price gets to a zone, you're going to get consolidation. It can look a couple different ways, but consolidation. 20% of the time you get rejection, like this. 10% of the time you get the slice. And when I see a good slice, I'll show it to you. I don't see one right now. Okay. So we come down. Now the zone is 96/97. Price came down to 58.01. If we go look left, we can find out why. That bounced us up to resistance at the BBC. Whenever the market finds support, it's going to go look for resistance, and when it finds resistance, it's going to go look for support. And again, we could scroll way back and find out why the market's turning here. See how the step line's getting ready to cross red and falling? If the step line does in fact cross red and falling, then you should anticipate that price is going to retrace all the way back to the BBC. Then it becomes a question of, is the pullback going to hold? Well, the pullback holds more often than not. But we also know that eventually price will trade through the BBC. So let's say we pull up, then we'll have this area down here where we'll find a window of opportunity. If price overcomes the BBC, then we could trade something like 58.02 up to 58.05. That's a conservative area. Okay. On the YM, that window never filled. This window filled once, twice. Okay. This was the opening candle last night. Again, we never got above the VBC. So down we go. Right through the target to the zone that was published Monday morning. When price drops to a zone, we expect support. When it rallies up to a zone, we expect resistance. Over and over, again and again. So we bounce, but we aren't able to bounce all the way to the BBC. That's a sign of weakness. So we consolidate for a couple candles, and then we drop all the way to the next zone, 41.910. We still got one more zone below. Okay. Now, see the step line crossing red and falling here? See price pulling up to the BBC. The pullback holds, we'll get another leg to the downside. If not, we'll have opportunity on the upside. Let's see the Russell. No windows. Well, I drew this window back on Tuesday, and it filled yesterday. And I drew this window on Tuesday, live on the afternoon broadcast here, and it filled today. Now think about that. I planned this trade 2 days ago, and it happened today. Planned it on Tuesday, got my satisfaction on Thursday. You can learn how to do that too. So price comes down through the zone. Okay, this is a slice. In other words, this was a red candle all the way down. But then when it ran out of steam, what did it do? It retraced to the zone it sliced through, and then it continued in the direction of the slice. So 70% of the time consolidation, 20% of the time rejection, 10% of the time the slice. And right now on the Russell, we're sitting on top of the step line. If we can trade through that step line, do I have enough room here to get 2 points? From 23 to 21. Yep, that's valid. If you want to be more conservative and want to be a little more patient, you could do that. Okay. All right, NQ. Now, I drew this one back on Tuesday, and I remember saying, I think it's such a big window, the price will probably get like a third of the way through, pull back, and it ultimately made it about halfway through. So sometimes that happens. I also drew this window on Tuesday, and it filled yesterday afternoon, right there. Remember, the vertical line separates today, Thursday, Wednesday, Tuesday, Monday. From resistance to support. Okay, so we had a gap lower open last night, took us right down to the target, got below the target, and we spiked the zone a little bit, but then we retraced back to the BBC. The pullback held, so that sent us lower. Now look at this. We went from zone to zone in one candle, from 338 to 193. That's like a $4,000 off the top of my head candle right there. And was that the opening candle? Yep, it's the opening candle on Wall Street. This candle sliced through the zone on the 30-minute chart like it wasn't even there. But when it ran out of steam right there, what did it do? It retraced back up. You had a green candle here, back up to the zone, resistance, and then it continued in the direction of the slice. Notice the step line is starting to hook right. As it crosses red and falling, expect a retracement. In most cases, back to the BBC. Now, it could stall out here at the zone, but in most cases, it'll pull all the way back to the BBC. Crude oil. Okay. We drew this window yesterday, and it filled. This one hasn't filled. But it filled yesterday before the market closed. Okay, so this was the first opening candle last night. It was a red candle. It took us to the BBC. The pullback held, and we bounced and created a double top here and here. A double top will almost always send the market lower. Well, quite often. We get below the BBC, and we come just shy of the target. 68.30 was the low, but this one candle opened at 68.78, and it dropped 48 points. Is that right? Yeah, that's a $480 per contract candle. If you've earned the right to trade 10 contracts, that's $4,800 right there in 30 minutes. When the market finds support, if you look left, you'll see where the support is. Okay, didn't drop as far as I thought. I thought it would drop. Hell, I was aiming for that. I misdrew, but you can see what happened. Support sends us looking for resistance. We consolidate at the zone, and then we reach up and we tap the long target to the tick. So we had two-sided action. Gold. That huge window never got filled. But this window got filled. I'm pretty sure I drew this in the mentoring session yesterday. So plan your work and then just wait for price to get there. Okay. Now, you should have a 30-minute chart as your roadmap, like I'm showing you here, but also have your range chart, because you've identified the area you want to trade in. But if you want to enter and exit that trade with surgical precision, use your range chart for that. That will keep you from false entries and that kind of thing. So we opened here with red and falling overhead. That's bearish. Took us down to the short target. Got below the short target. Found support like right at the top of this window. Bounced up, and see how that target became resistance? And a leg and a retracement. And then a leg. There's another slice that pulled right back up to the zone. Okay, and then continued in the direction of the slice. Gold is just getting hammered today, but the step line here, now that's not the lowest zone. 41.42, the low of this candle was 41.8. These are the zones for Monday morning. So as this step line crosses red and falling, which it looks like it's trying to do, look for a relief rally. At least back up to the zone, and most likely back up to the BBC. Now, Michael has arrived. I've only got one market left to go over, but he's going to give us a recap of what happened this morning in the live training room first. Then we're going to trade live on TradingView for 30 minutes. And then I'll come back. I'll recap silver and close things out with our good word for the day.
Excellent. Excellent. All right.
And you're probably wondering how many frames we've dropped so far today.
Are we doing OBS today?
No, I couldn't get it. It kept saying that my description, I think it had too many characters or something. Because I put our full disclaimer. So anyway, I'm on YouTube today. But the guys sent me, they had me upload a log file, and I did that, and he goes, try this experimental thing we're working on. And so I ticked that thing, and so far, by the grace of God, we have not dropped one frame on YouTube today.
Wow.
Nice.
All right.
Okay, it's all yours. Listen.
Well, that is good. That is good. All right. Here we go. Good afternoon, everyone. Today is Thursday, the 31st day of October. It's Halloween. Let's see. First, if you have not taken a free trial with us, go here to mytradingiq.com, click on the purple button right here. There is no credit card required for this trial. Click on that purple button to be sent to this registration page. This should be changed by tomorrow. Hopefully, Valerie is going to create that link for us. You'll be sent to this registration page. What we ask for is your name, your email, and there are 5 multiple choice questions. If you have NinjaTrader, give us your machine ID. We don't need your Ninja ID, your machine ID. That's only if you're going to use Ninja charts, though. If you're not going to use Ninja charts, then we don't need that. All right. TradingView, you should get TradingView. Get the trial version if you have to, but get TradingView. And when you get that, give us your username or your login ID for TradingView. That's what we need to enable the indicators for you. Once you do that, we'll set everything up and you'll be ready to go at the beginning of the trial. All right, so we are ending the month just like we started it, with our best day. Actually, we started with the best day of the year, and we're ending it with our second best day of the year, I think. And everything in between was kind of mediocre, but it was good. It was just, it wasn't stellar like it was with all those other ones. Now, I kind of wish I was trading gold yesterday instead of trading the YM. Probably. I don't know. But anyway, if you're going to read the spreadsheet, you got to read all the CFTC risk disclosures down at the bottom. Today is the 31st day of October 2024. Made 272 ticks on the NQ, 10 ticks on the Russell, 16 ticks on the YM, and 19 ticks on the ES. That put us up $1,727 with one contract this morning. Today it took 2 minutes and 2 trades to get to the goal for the day. At that point, we're up $1,000, and we took a total of 24 trades this morning. All right. So on the month, we are going to end the month of October with $14,232. I believe that is our second best month of the year. It is our second best month of the year, averaging $646 per contract per 2-hour trading day. Now, last year we averaged $816, but last month, did I say last year? I meant last month. We had all these days over $1,000. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 days over $1,000 last month. This month, 3. And we had a blue day. Anyway, it's still great. We also crossed over 100,000 today on the year with one contract. $100,000, $100,370 with one contract on the year. That's for the whole session in the morning. All right. So we're averaging $489 in the room in the morning. Following the 2420 blueprint, this did go up again. I remember at the beginning of the month, I think I said 2,400 is what I wanted to get by the end of the year. We're at 2,880 now. So this is moving along nicely. And it looks like we might be able to get up pretty close to 4,000 by the end of the year. We have 2 full months left. Well, take out the holidays, but almost 2 full months left to the year. 2,880 is what we're averaging per hour doing the 2420 blueprint, and 58.61 hours is the total number of hours you would have had to work so far this year. Now, last year we ended up with what? At the end of the year, last year. Let me do it this way. My mouse roller button thing here is not functioning as well as I would like it to. I think it's worn off. All the ridges on are worn off. Last year, 94.7 hours was the total number of hours last year. I think we're going to be a lot less than that this year. A lot less than that. And it has to do with that theory that I had that I started in June, I think. And Dwayne, you experienced it this morning. We both did this morning. Where if you start at 9:27 and you have a trade setup that triggers between 9:27 and 9:30, when the markets open up, usually that trade setup is going to get your goal for the day in the first couple of minutes. And it did it again today. All right, so the 2420 blueprint, we're averaging $2,880 an hour after 58.61 hours on the whole year. All right, let's get into the trades. We did take quite a few trades today. On the YM, we didn't take too many on the YM and the Russell. Most of them were on the NQ. But on the YM, we had a couple of trades, and we'll go over those here. Let me put this to the side. I'll go over the YM trades. Wow, it looks like there was some pretty good movement on the side here on the YM during the break. So the first trade here on the YM today, we got +1, and then the next trade, we got +15. And that was it for the YM for us this morning. We had 2 trades, and both positive, and we were happy to get positive today after being down 75 ticks yesterday on the YM. It was 75, right? 75 ticks, 3 trades. Stopped out on all 3 of them yesterday. One of those was a mistake. One was a mistake. One was a stop out to the tick, and the other was just a stop out. Let's see. Were there any other trades this morning? There was one right here that I missed. There was one right here that I missed. Let's see. There was another one right here that would have stopped out. So this would have been a good one. This would have stopped out. Going in the other direction, there was a long right there that would have worked out okay. Going in the other direction, this one would have stopped out. This, after it bounced off the ribbon, would have been okay, but you wouldn't have taken that because it didn't put in a lower swing. This would have been a decent trade right here. Had I done it, would have been a really good trade right there. The next one, going into the zone, we would have skipped all that going into the zone. Coming out of the zone, going in the opposite direction, there was one right here that was okay to take. It would have given you some profit. It wouldn't have taken anything else in that direction to get into the break. During the break, there was one trade right here that worked out well, and that's it. That was all we had during the break. So the YM was pretty good today. It was much better than it was yesterday. The Russell, we only had a couple of trades on the Russell this morning as well. Early on, I remember right. Yep, there were one right here for 5 ticks and another one right here for 5 more ticks. That is all that I had with the Russell this morning, right? Now, I'm sure there were probably more trades than that, so let's just go through and see. This was in the zone, so you had to get away from there. This one right here was enough to get the stop to break even. Spun around, started going back upward here. It looks like there was a trade right here. If you stuck it out, it worked out to be pretty good. That was during the break. And there was one more here during the break that didn't put in a higher swing. It was enough to get the stop to break even and nothing else. So there wasn't a lot of opportunity today on the Russell. The ES now, let's look at this guy. Now, I'm curious what happened with Bitcoin. I'm going to look at that in a minute. With gold dropping as much as it did, Bitcoin had all-time highs again yesterday, as well. Yesterday, not again, but as well as gold. So I'm curious if Bitcoin got hammered the way that gold did. On the ES, this is where we got the roll for the day. On this very first trade, we picked up 8 ticks on that one. All right, and then the next trade was a break even right there. The next trade after that, we got 1 tick on this one to get us to +9. Then we stopped out on this one, got us to -1. Then we had +16 on that one, got us to +15. And then right at the very end, we had +4 on that one. That got us to +19. And that's where we ended it with the ES. Now things turned around and it gave 1 short trade right here that would have stopped you out. And then gave another one right here, we would have gotten it all back and then some. It spun around again during the break. That long trade right here that would have worked out okay. This right here was just a level that we had seen this morning while we were reading it on. But right here, this worked out well. The next one, the ribbon off that, really wasn't anything you could do. Anything at all left in there on the ES. So we had a pretty good day on the ES, and we got pretty much all the trades that were available. Did miss a couple winners, well, 1 winner and 1 loser, I think. And now the YM. Now we had a little bit of stuff today that we had showing up over here on the side with the YM on the alerts that we had triggering. This is what they look like, right? And we reworded the alerts so that it says, you know, when you get this one here, it says 85 cross, look for 100 tick move down, and this is 85 cross, look for 100 tick move up. That's from a larger time frame. Okay, when you get that and it coincides with the direction that you're looking in over here on the 31 range, that is really good information to have. Okay, so this was yesterday, or the day before yesterday, actually. And let's go back to a 31 range here. Is there any correlation between Bitcoin and gold or the inverse? I don't know if I don't think there's a direct correlation between gold and Bitcoin. You would think there would be, but I don't think there is. You know, because gold used to be the backing standard, and now Bitcoin is kind of taking on that role. Except there's a limited amount of Bitcoin. There's a limited amount of gold too, but we just haven't discovered it all. And just recently, where was it? Somewhere over in Africa, I thought they found the biggest gold discovery ever, something like that. Anyway, the NQ. Our first trade here on the NQ was a break even. Our next trade over here was a +48. Then our next trade after that was a +4, got us to 52. Then another a break even. Then another +48, got us up to 100. Then another +48, got us up to 148. Then a +12, got us up to 160. Then a break even and a +20 got us up to 180. Then we stopped out, went down to 144. Then we had a +16 that got us back up to 160. Then a +48 got us up to 208. Then a plus something right here that got us to 224. So 208, that would have been another 16 right there to get us to 224. And then we had another +48 over here to get us to 272. So there were a lot of trades this morning on the end, and I'm not gonna lie, having that little thing over here that popped up was helpful. Letting you know ahead of time, or when you're in a trade, when you're looking at the trade, right there in the moment, you're looking at the trade on the on the 31 range, and you see over here what should be happening next. if it's hit the point on a 100 range where it should have a 100 tick decline, minimum 100 tick decline, and you look at enter a short over here, you can let those trades ride because it's probably going to do it. Okay. We went over that this morning. Chris, did you see all that this morning when I was going over that this morning? I know you left at some point this morning. You were there, but then you left. All right, so coming through here during the break, there weren't that many trades here during the break. One right there. The ribbon was crunched up. See, like this one right here. This is the ES though. And so we did the same thing on the ES this morning that we did on the other one. So look for a 7-point drop from the bigger picture. It's saying the ES is going to look for a 7-point drop. So what you would do with that information is come here and look at the ES. And if the ES was looking for short, then you would consider it. But if it's at a point where it's going to pull back, well, then you consider that too. If you look at this on the 27 range, and you look at what the ribbon looks like on the 27 range, where this came from, right? See what the ribbon looks like over there on the 27 range, right here. The ribbon is pulling up to a ribbon that is bearish. So you're probably going to get that drop. You're probably going to get that 7-point drop. Now, is it going to go all the way through the swing low? I don't know. The last one, this was the last push down right here, and it didn't. But you're probably going to get a 7-point drop. Okay. Using that information. So from here, 68.50, 7 points down is going to be down here to 61.50. It's going to be all the way down here. That'll give you a completely different look. And it would be down here where there was support in the past. It'll give you a completely different look on the market, right? Now, we were doing the NQ. Okay, we were in the NQ over here. During the break, it doesn't look like there was a whole bunch that happened here. There was one trade here that didn't put in a higher swing, so you wouldn't do anything else until it did. Another trade there that did put in a higher swing, so it was okay, but then it switched directions and it switched directions, and this right here would have been the trade. And it probably wasn't enough to get your stop to break even. And that's it. It did give you a higher swing. So yeah, Gary had asked me to do that this morning, Chris. I wasn't sure if you were there when he asked me to do that, put that together. The same thing that I was doing with the NQ. I did it with the ES. All right. So right now on the NQ, our last alert on the NQ from the bigger picture was you were overbought. This is a micro NQ. This one was you crossed the 85, so it was looking for a move down, right, is what it was looking for. And that was at 1244. So that was back here. Back here, it was looking for the move down. Just got the frog. So now it's testing the low. It's got a minus 85 cross, so it's looking for a 100 tick move up right now. So this has changed because it pulled back deep here. So it's changed the look of it, so you're not going to be able to take the trade, but it's suggesting right now that you're going to have a 25-point move up from where it is. Okay, we don't have a trade in here because it pulled back too deep. I think the ribbon's crunched up. I mean, on the up close, we'll see if the ribbon's still crunched up. If it is, we're not going to be able to take the trade, and I think it's going to be. If it closes down, there'll clearly be no trade. But if it closes up, there's a chance there'll be a trade. But I'm going to let it close and then take a look at the ribbon. All right, it's got 87.25 up to 95.25 is where the top of the bar is going to be. Okay. 95.25. It's right there. Right there. Okay, that's what we're looking for.
So what price are you looking to sell on the NQ?
I'm not looking to do anything right now. If anything, I was going to look to buy, but I'm not going to do that either.
Yeah.
You know, it's got to come out of the oversold. It's got to close up to come out of the oversold. But I'm waiting to see what the ribbon looks like. Yeah, you see the ribbon's all crunched.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure if the ribbon was going to be crunched up or not, and it is. So we're not going to do anything with it. I'll leave it alone. The reason I was looking at it is because we just got this from the 100 range.
Mm-hmm.
The problem with the 100 range, if you go and look at that, is that the ribbon is all crunched up on the 100 range.
Yep.
So you don't really know what direction that's going to go in yet either. It looks like it should probably go down, is what it looks like. Right, like this is a retracement of the leg up. It might go up a little further, like a 50% retracement of this would put it right up about here. So it might go up a little further before we
the
get
ES hit that 24% fib retracement on the daily, and we got a little bounce.
Yeah, and I think we had an indication on the ES to look for that too. Let's go back there. And let me put this back on what it was. Put this back on what it was. And that indication here on the ES, was it down here, 750? It was below that, wasn't it? Was that it? Down there at the 750. Yeah, it was down there, right in that area. We had at this time at 11:54. This was at 12:05. 11:59. 11:32. We had an ES cross. Look for the bounce up right here. This is what it said.
The
7
price
point pullback.
we bounced at was 57.50, and the 24% fib was 57.48. So we actually missed touching it by 2 points, but I could have been sloppy when I drew the fibs.
Okay, and this indication that came here, it was on the bottom of this bar right here. 11:32 right there. It was on the bottom of this bar is where the indication came to look for the move up, look for a 7-point move up. And you got the 7 points there. It was at 53.75. It had to go up to 60, and it went up to 68. So it was a good indication. Everything came together. Did I draw that on my DT Pro chart? I think I did. I think that's why I'm not seeing anything here. I'm not sure. But anyway, it all came together pretty well, as we expected. And so we don't have any trades here right now. Okay, no trades here right now, right at the moment. And what time is it? 1:16. So 14 minutes.
There's never been a TV show that made it about trading. I wonder. There was a show called Wall Street something, but it went to like some obscure cable channel right away. I mean, it never made it on the networks.
Well, I suspect that it would be hard to keep people's attention.
Well, I mean, the story would be more about the relationships in the office and who the big dog is.
Oh, well, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Well, they make movies about that.
Yeah.
And,
yeah.
That's like Wall Street and
The Wolf of Wall Street.
The Wolf of Wall Street
and
Wall Street.
That was the most vulgar, obscene movie I think I've ever watched.
Come on now.
But it was
Come
good.
on now.
But it was
wasn't a lot of murder in it.
But it was still good. I mean, all the drug use and the way they treat
the drug use
and you know.
Yeah.
But the storyline was excellent. So if you're not easily offended, I recommend The Wolf of Wall Street. Yeah.
Well, yeah. Well, they make movies about it because
The Big Short, that was a popular movie.
Mm-hmm. And one of our guys was in that.
Oh, really?
He was in the scene on that.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. No, it was a scene from the show The Pit, and he was in it.
Oh, that guy. Oh,
Jerry.
I remember. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, it was when he had crazy hair and all that.
Right. When he had hair.
Yeah. Yeah. And it was crazy hair. And
some guy with a bald head walked up to me at church on Sunday, and he was just staring at me, and I go, "Hey, everything okay?" He goes, "I'm just admiring your hair."
Your luxurious lane. Sorry, your luxurious mane. That's what it was. Luxurious mane. That's what it is, yeah.
He laughed, I laughed.
All right, so what we're looking for now is the YM to move up. We just had this right here. Now, this is one of the things that Joe was asking about. Is this okay to take a trade coming out of the weekly trading zone? Because I don't just trade inside the zone. This is borderline because it's right there on the edge of the zone. I think the YM's actually losing steam here, but it's a valid trade except for the fact that it's right there at the edge of the zone. You know, I think all the markets are losing steam on the upside. Right now is one of those days where it's a lot easier for the markets to go down than it is to go up. And when you have a huge down day like this, finding humans that are going to say, all right, I'm going to start buying now.
Silver's down like 6 grand per contract,
Wow.
but it's
You see,
been in
bots,
quite a strong rally. So
but the
pendulum
bots will
swings
kick in.
both ways.
And they're not human, so they don't have to make decisions like that.
Yeah.
The bots, once they get to whatever the set point is.
Once something falls a certain amount, then the machines just kick in and sell, and it just falls even further. So.
All right. So the YM it's a valid trade. The thing is right there on the edge. That's the thing I don't like about it. You know what? I'm just going to take it. Here it is. I'm just going to take it. Even after YM whooped me yesterday, I see this number right here. I think that's where it's trying to get to. Okay. So the YM had my number yesterday. I kind of got it back today.
So you're buying 42.
I'm at 42,123 is my entry.
Oh, that
and
already
now
your entry.
Yeah, I'm already in. And now I'm waiting for it to get up to 42,133. It's already just about gotten up to that number that I was just pointing at. I'm pointing at it again at 130. We expect it's going to get up to the prior swing high, which is up here at 140, and that will be enough to get my stop to break even, maybe lock in a couple of ticks on this. It would be nice to see this one start running, but we'll see what happens. I don't remember if I had any trades in here yesterday.
Run, Forrest, run.
Yes.
Not running.
Forrest is not moving much. And I have a 25 tick stop on this, I think. Yes, I do. Okay, the Russell doesn't have anything going on here. The ES doesn't have anything, and the NQ doesn't have anything. So this one, it needs to get up above, it wants to get up above 42,130. And it's got some numbers up here at the point where I'd hit my stop to break even. I think it's going to go. I'm going to go look at Bitcoin because I was curious about that. So let's go out here and look at the Bitcoin. Okay, so Bitcoin today didn't have a horrible day. This is weekly. Sorry, I don't know about today. Let me go to the daily. There we go. Okay, so the YM, my stop is, did it hit 33? No, it didn't yet.
I'm at break even. Oh, I already went to.
Yeah.
I already went to break even.
You already went there. Okay, now I'm going there too. My stop's at break even now too. I'm just going to lock in 2 ticks. Now it's looking like it's going to get up to here right now. The DOM, reading the DOM today. That was part of the lesson plan. 139 is where the swing high is, and right there is what the DOM's saying it's going to get to. So I'm happy with that. I'm going to lock in 5 ticks on this. And we should get all the way up there to 138, and that would be 15 ticks, and I'll be happy with that. Okay. 7, 8 ticks. And there it is. 15 ticks. Bang. Just like that.
Did you hit your target, or you just get out?
I had a target right up there set for it. I had a target set at what the DOM was saying it was going to get up to. And it happened to be right there, right below the swing high. So that's what I had. 15 ticks is what I got.
Okay, I didn't get all I wanted, but I got something. So.
Okay, well, you got something. And it did what it should have done. It got up to the prior swing high.
Yeah.
Now it should go through it to continue the trend. You should have a leg length that is like this right here. Should have a leg length like this right here. That's what should happen. I don't know that it's going to, but it did just go through the prior swing high. So the diamond principle now says it's going to get up to here. I'll draw it where it should go to. In the short term, it should go to right about here in the short term. Okay. That may be too far over. It should probably go over right there. Let me just get rid of that and draw it a little neater. And I think I still got the thing on here. Right up. Nope, I guess I don't.
Now, when you hit escape, it turns it off. Or delete.
Delete, yeah, I guess. Okay, so there it is. That's where it should go. The leg length says it should go And I moved that the wrong way. Let me put this back over here. Grab this thing. The leg length says it should go to just about the same place. Right now, I had kind of wung it when I drew that, the price part of that on there. The price part says it should go, actually I did wing it. It should go up to here. Is what the diamond principle says. I was eyeballing it. And we don't have anything anywhere else. So that was our one trade so far in this session. And I wanted to go over and look at these other things. Bitcoin I wanted to look at on a daily, not on a weekly. 1A. Oops. Didn't need that. Let's put that back here. That was Bitcoin I wanted to look at on a daily. 1 day. All right, see how Bitcoin got a little hammered today. Okay. On the weekly, it was still looking pretty good, but after hitting all-time highs 2 days ago,
yeah, that
it
usually
sold off a little bit. Yeah, it should have a retracement. It'd be healthy if it has a retracement.
And then the next run may be the one that takes us to new all-time highs.
Well, we just had new all-time highs 2 days ago. 485 was an all-time high.
Correct.
But it should do it again. It should do it again. I think that's what you're getting at.
That's what I was getting at.
And if you do this, you take the fib retracement, the same stuff that we do on the smaller time frame with everything that we use, put it right here. We should see a deeper pullback than what we've gotten so far. It should pull back a little bit more down to, say, right about here over the next day or two. And then, using the same things that we use over and over again, we should see this guy. Well, I had this saying it was going to get up to here, so it's already done that leg length, and it stopped pretty much where I had this thing drawn out before, right? So let me just draw another one based on the leg lengths that we're working with right now in this smaller time frame. Okay. Oops. I'll kind of do that. Be like this. That's where it should go up to next. The next all-time highs when it starts to really run, break through those prior ones. Next should be up here, 78, 79,000. Now, taking a look at, it's getting right up there. Taking a better look at this, where I got that prior line from, this thing right here. Where did I get that from? I think I got it from this pullback back here. Or maybe it was this move up right here. I don't remember where exactly I got this from. Or maybe it was this move up right here. Could have been that. Or that. It was right here's right from over here. And then it did the retracement. And it had just about the same retracement there. But then it did this and it pushed up. And then I was looking for it to go from here up to there after the 50% retracement on this leg down. I was looking for it to go another leg up. And so it's done that. So the 50% retracement of that leg down is here. And then the next leg up would be right up here.
Microsoft shareholders are voting right now if they want to start stacking Bitcoin like Michael Saylor has done and other companies have done. And in Florida, they've petitioned.
Yeah, that's what it was.
They've petitioned somebody that they want the state employees pension fund to buy Bitcoin. They want to have some percentage of the state employees retirement fund in Bitcoin.
Yes, there was something else they were doing in Bitcoin too in Florida. There was something I read about that. I don't remember what it was.
I don't know.
All right, so we almost got up there on the first push. Now, when it pulls back, this is where it should get up to. All right, if it gives us another trading opportunity, and it hasn't, but if it does, that's what it should do. None of the other markets have given us anything yet. Well, this is the NQ. The NQ is the closest one to giving us something else. I didn't go and look at all the other markets over here yet. Let's go out one more and see what we had one more out. There's that gold again. That guy that never showed up again. And the YM on regular TV trades today. didn't have a lot of long trades, that's for sure. I must have the bias on. It only gave short trades today. Yeah, that huge one right there, that huge one right there, that huge one right there, that huge one right there. And I must have the bias on, so you're not getting any long trades in here. Yeah, I did. So I take the bias off, you'll see some long trades in here too, probably. 1, 2, 3. Every trade worked. Every trade worked well. That was just the plain one. And let's go out here one more. Look, YM's pulled back to the weekly trading zone, to the tick. And it's about to give us another trade. We're out of time, but what did I have on this last one over here? This last one, we had Tesla today. Okay, now there's one thing I want to put on this just to see how that did. Tesla today, and this is what, a 50 range. Okay, so pretty much every one of those gave some kind of a reaction. This one and this one didn't really give much. All right, back to 4, and we're gonna wrap this up with one more YM trade possibly. Nope, we ran out of time. We're out of time, guys. So what I'd be looking for now on the YM is an upper close right here to pull out of the oversold, and I'd expect it to get up to here. All right. It's taken a little longer, but that's what I totally expect this to get up to this level right here if it does give you another trade. All right. You are welcome, Chris. And that is going to wrap it up for the mornings and for the afternoon session for me today. If you've not taken a free trial with us, go here to mytradingiq.com, click on the purple button. There is no credit card required for this trial. Click on that button and bring it to this registration page. Just fill it out. Give us your trading view login ID down here at the bottom, and we'll enable your indicators so they can get indicating for you. All right. The NinjaTrader, if you want to use NinjaTrader charts, give us your machine ID. If you just want to trade on Ninja, we don't need your machine ID. Okay.
Also, if you're going to sign up for the trial, if what you see in the live training room, or if what you see even here in the afternoon broadcasts, if it seems like it's too much or too fast, when you're on the trial, we will actually meet with you one-on-one and go over stuff so that it makes more sense and that you better understand what's happening. Because trust me, if I can do this, you can do this, okay? You just need a little bit of screen time, some one-on-one mentoring, and you'll have it.
It's right there in front of you every day, day after day after day. We have the opportunity.
We hit the goal this morning. I already covered that. We hit the goal this morning. 2 trades.
2 minutes.
1 break even, and then $1,000.
And 1 e-tick. Yep. See that? You already said it. You don't even have to ask me now.
And I've already. Oh yeah. I normally say recap of the morning session.
Yes.
I guess I don't have to.
Well, you can. I mean, it's kind of normal.
Okay.
If I say, okay, we're going to pass it back out to fabulous Phoenix, Arizona, in Studio A overlooking South Mountain, America's largest city park.
Okay.
Like when you press the button at the end.
Recap of the morning session.
Well, today it took 2 minutes and 2 trades to get to $1,000 with 10 contracts on.
Good job.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, guys, let's pick up where we left off. The only market we had left was silver. They were still getting that little bounce. How we close today is going to be really important. If we close below the 24% fib retracement, this thing could fall hard. It really could. All right, the only market we didn't cover was silver, and here it is. This was the opening candle last night. We pulled up to the BBC, and as you know, the pullback holds more often than not. It held there, and there, and there, and there, then there, then there, and then it held there, and then it held there. And that hold right there sent us right down to the target, to the tick. Bang. And then we got below the target, and the zone, which was published Monday morning at 6:15 a.m. Eastern, acted as support. Support will always send the market to resistance. Pullback holds more often than not. Resistance will send price to support, back to resistance, back to support, back to resistance, and then sometimes the bottom falls out. Now notice on silver, the step line has crossed. So we've had a big down day in silver, but looks like silver is going to try and rally into the close. Okay. It'd be nice if we could get back up to 33.19, or at least in that area. Beats the heck out of where we are now. But see how on the way down you had the perfect stack: price, step line, red and falling, BBC. But once that step line hooks right and gets on the right side of red and falling, now you're expecting price to go back up. And from here to here, that looks like about a 50% move. Here, I'll pull a Michael. BBC, right there, 50% fib retracement. All right then. Now, if you want to have as much fun as we do, here's all you got to do. Send an email to support@cfrn.net. In the subject line, put, "I would like to become a member. I'm ready to become a member. I'm dying to become a member. Please let me become a member." Any of those will work. What will happen is Valerie will send you an email with some information and a link. Once you click that link and become a member, then she'll send you a couple more emails that you want to safeguard, because you're going to need them in the future. If you lose them, we'll send them again, but it's better if you just save them, okay? Put them in a folder in your email client, all right? All right. Well, why would you become a member, you ask? 2 hours of live training every trading day. It's an interactive environment. Real trades in real time and real markets. Along with 2 hours of live training every trading day, you also get private one-on-one mentoring. The strategy you learn, the indicators you own as a passport holder, are fluid across all markets and all time frames. Futures, stocks, crypto, Forex, ETF. We're even using them for options now. As a passport holder, you'll get the Logic 247 alerts around the clock. Now, remember, the purpose of those Logic 247 alerts is to teach you how to read a chart, how to find these windows of opportunity that I show you. You can trade them as well, but make sure you're using them for the right purpose. But you can trade them if you want. Since we launched Logic 247, we've issued over 18,200 individual handcrafted alerts, and we've averaged on a weekly basis 20% or less being stopped out based on market structure. And that simple process we teach all passport holders in their private one-on-one mentoring sessions. You'll also get the concierge trade alerts every night, the second they're published. Every Monday morning, you'll get the weekly trading zones at 6:15 a.m. Eastern. Once they're published, they're carved in stone for the entire week. And you'll be able to attend the members only workshop every Thursday night, which we have canceled because of Halloween. Boom. Not because I do Halloween, but because let's just leave it at that. We're not having the workshop tonight. So, but the good news is on a normal Thursday night, you'll be able to attend tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern, once you remember. And you'll have the key to the vault, where there's hundreds of previous workshops, members only workshops. Do you need to watch them all? No. All you got to do really is just show up every day, ask questions, trade along in your demo account till you go live, and then follow the 24/20 blueprint. We've worked really hard for a lot of years to make it simple. Trading's not easy, but it can be simple. Everything a trader needs, all under one roof, one low price. And that includes around-the-clock support via Telegram. Unless you violate our rules of the road, and you're warned, and warned again, and warned again, and then you get the boot. We only had to boot one person since we started Telegram, which was just prior to starting Logic 247. So we want it to be a family-friendly environment where everybody's on the same page. There's no competition between people. It's the opposite. It's people helping people. And I know that sounds weird because most of the trading forums and chat rooms out there, there's all kinds of crazy backstabbing nonsense going on. You don't want that. Okay, good word for the day. Remember, email support@cfrn.net. Subject line, ready to become a member. Don't forget to hit send. And Valerie will be in touch. All right, our good word for today is how to develop patience, part 1. Now, I've always told you that when you become a member, we'll give you the information that you need to learn how to trade. We'll give you the tools to do the job. But what we can't give you, or the two things we can't give you, is patience and self-discipline. Proverbs 16:32. One who is slow to anger is better than the mighty. The Bible says that when you pray, God can answer instantly. But nowhere in the Bible are you promised instant patience. Patience is a quality of character. And character is built over a lifetime of walking with God through good times and bad. Here's how God develops patience in us. Number 1, interruptions. You sit down to eat dinner and your phone starts ringing. You're in the bathroom and someone comes to the door. You're quickly working to meet a deadline and visitors arrive. Number 2, delays. Number 1 was interruptions. Number 2 is delays. We hate to wait. We have a microwave mindset. We want what we want and we want it now. We have fast food, quick cooked pasta, and instant coffee. We're like the man who prayed, Lord, give me patience right now. Number 3, irritations. Long lines, lost keys, late planes, phone calls, cold food, flat tires, occupied bathrooms, traffic jams. The list is endless. Do you know what 90% of heart attack sufferers have the hurried type A personality? The Bible says in Proverbs 19:2, and the one who acts hastily sins. We speak of the patience of Job, who said in Job 14:14, all the days of my hard service I will wait for my renewal to come. Pray about it, exercise patience, and be confident in God. Tomorrow, part 2. Thanks so much for tuning in. Whoever you are, wherever you are, may God continue to richly bless you with His mercy and with His grace. And I'll see you at the bell.
Remember this, there is no greater return on investment than to see a human life changed and given hope. As always, pray hard and trade safe. Any financial information discussed on this show is simply the opinion of our host, Dwayne Reeves, his co-hosts, and guests. To learn more about trading E-mini futures or to take a 1-week free trial in our live trading room, call 1-866-928-3310. 866-928-3310. Information discussed on this radio program should not be construed as a recommendation to buy or sell any security. Always do your own due diligence and consult with a licensed securities broker or financial planner before making any investment decision.